Hey guys, I am so excited because today I'm going to show you how to create this beautiful succulent sphere. This project does take a couple days, so let's start at the beginning and I will show you how to do it. Alright, so the first step is to gather up all your supplies. You are going to need a moss sphere, a bowl full of water with some fertilizer added into it. I like to use Authentic Haven brand manure tea. A pair of clippers, something sharp to poke holes into your sphere with, so I use a Phillips screwdriver. You can use a skewer or whatever else you have. You need a nice assortment of succulents, and I like to find them in all different colors, shapes, textures, and if I can find them in gallon size or larger containers, or in containers like this aloe that have got a bunch of them in it, it's the best bang for your buck because you get a ton of cuttings just from one pot. And then an optional thing is some greening pins. And this will help in case any of your succulent cuttings want to kind of fall out of the sphere until they're rooted. This will help hold them in. Now I love this sphere. This is a 7-inch size and it's already preloaded with moss. It's ready to roll and it's even got a hanger built in. This one is made by Braun. I picked it up at my local nursery and there are several different sizes. I went with the small one just because where I want to hang it, they get kind of heavy when you water them, so I didn't want too much weight, but you can go with whatever size that you want. If you can't find it locally, I will provide a link in the description below so that you can order yourself one. The next step is to prepare all your succulents, and to do that, you just pop them out of their can and remove all the soil and the roots from around their stems. And the goal is to get as long a stem as possible without any soil or roots attached. So kind of like, whoops, I'm going to pull a couple of leaves off and I'll propagate these later, but kind of like this right here. This is what we're aiming for. So we're going to do that with all of these succulents, and then we will be one step closer to a succulent sphere. All right, I've got all of my succulent cuttings ready to go, and this is one beautiful box full of succulents right here. A couple of things to be aware of when you're making your succulent cuttings. It's a good idea to have a damp rag nearby so you can wipe your hands off, because it is a messy business getting all that dirt off, and you want to keep the succulent cuttings as clean as possible. Start off with clean clippers and then wipe the clippers and your hands off as you go so that you end up with nice clean cuttings like this. These are just beautiful. So we will let these set for a day or two so that they can form a callus over the cut, and in a couple of days we will put our sphere together. All right, the succulents are ready to go. All of the cuts have healed over, but before we start to assemble our sphere, we need to prep it. To prep the sphere, I'm going to submerge it in a bowl full of water that's also got Authentic Haven brand manure tea in it. It's the fertilizer that I really like to use for my succulents and cacti. So you submerge it in the water, let it soak it up, and then you want to let it hang and dry for several hours because you don't want your sphere to be soggy and wet. You just want it to be damp. And then you can start assembling. All you do is you take one of your poking devices, and I have 3 different ones here because all of our succulents have different diameter stems, and you just simply poke a hole like that in the sphere, and then just choose a succulent and insert it into that hole, being really gentle with the succulent. Now you notice that this one's a little bit floppy, and this is where the greening pins come in really handy, because you can just gently ease one of those in, and that will help hold the succulent into place a lot better. And you can do it from either side if you need to. The one thing I forgot to mention is that a lot of the succulents that are rosette in shape in particular, it's hard to get a long stem on them, so it makes it real hard to get them to stick into the sphere. So you may need to create a false stem. It's really easy. Actually, Cindy at the Succulent Perch taught us how to do this in one of our past videos, where she showed us how to incorporate live succulents into flower arrangements. It was a super fun video, and you really should watch it. We'll include the link in the description below. But all you need, and I forgot to tell you the supply section, all you need is a little piece of wire and some floral tape. You just insert the wire at the base of the succulent, being really careful. You don't want to poke yourself or ruin the succulent. Just slide it through there, fold it in on itself just like that, clamp it together, and then we'll use the floral tape starting at the base of the succulent, and we'll wrap it around. Just wrap it around nice and tight all the way down the wire, kind of creating that false stem, just like that. It doesn't need to be long, just a couple of inches, so I'm going to just stop it right there and cut off the excess wire. Don't frown on me for using my clippers. And it should look just like that. Perfect. So then we'll go to our sphere. We'll poke a hole and find the hole and insert the succulent. Just like that. So we'll just continue to do that all the way around the sphere until we like the way it looks and all the space is full. It's all done and I love it. I love how it turned out, all of the differing colors and textures. I also think it would be really pretty to just choose all of the same succulent and do the whole thing with that. It'd be kind of a neat monochromatic look, but I just like how this turned out as a whole. So to care for this succulent sphere, I'll take it down and water it just gently under the tap water, making sure to get in between the succulents and thoroughly moisten the moss. You don't want to mist it. Succulents don't want mist on their foliage. You just need to get the water to the roots. So get in between those. You can also take a squirt bottle and just put it in between and just squirt in between there, and that will get the moss all moist. And I'll probably water it every 1 to 2 weeks depending on how warm it is. It's not warm today. It's super windy and cold, and the succulents are probably not super happy with me. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you learned something, and I hope you are inspired to try this project at home. And be sure to subscribe below, and be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram. We've got a lot going on over there. So we'll see you in the next one. Bye.